Now, I'm conscious that many of our debates are inaccessible jargon for most people trying to follow politics, so because of that, I only rise to make 3 very basic points. So the first one is explaining what universal credit actually is. 2, what has gone wrong since the universal credit rollout began. And 3, explain why it's so important that this government halts this rollout, not scrap it, but halt it until we can deal with the problems effectively. Now, I'm going to find myself in a bizarre situation here, because I'm actually going to stick up for the principles behind a Tory policy. Universal credit is a simplified, online-only way of receiving benefits. It rolls together 6 benefits, including unemployment benefit, tax credits, housing benefit, into the one personally tailored payment. It makes sense. For a lot of people in the past, when they began to earn above a certain amount in their job, their social security would suddenly stop altogether. Universal credit does seek to remedy this by making it clear that as you earn more through your job, your universal credit will slowly and steadily decline rather than suddenly stop altogether. Now, it all sounds absolutely reasonable, and that's why I want to stress again that we're not calling for this to be scrapped altogether. We want it halted. Because like most Conservative policies, the minute we scratch beneath the surface, we see the harsh truth. So what has gone wrong here? There's a minimum 42-day wait for the first payment, which we've heard umpteen folk talk about, but I don't think this Chamber's really appreciating the reality of what that means. That means people who are most vulnerable being left with 6 weeks with absolutely nothing.
Will my honourable friend give way? As one of the first constituencies in Scotland to witness the rollout of universal credit, here in South Lanarkshire, I have witnessed my constituents waiting up to 12 weeks for their universal credit payment, relying on food banks. So would my honourable friend agree with me that it's clear that this policy is not working in practice? And will my honourable friend invite the Minister to come and visit my constituency and see how your policy is actually working, because it's a disaster?
And actually, I thank the honourable member for raising that point, because I want to genuinely say to the benches opposite, none of us on this side are lying about our experiences here. We're not making things up. We are coming to you with genuine problems here that the government is failing to address. The DWP figures show that around 1 in 4 new claimants wait longer than 6 weeks to be paid. That is a 25% failure rate. Now, given that this is still in its early days, that is staggeringly alarming. Benefit delays remain one of the primary reasons for an increase in food bank usage. Citizens' advice found that out of 52,000 cases, that those on universal credit would, on average, appear to have fewer than £4 a month left to pay all their creditors after they paid essential living costs. I'm going to keep going. But to progress with the rollout of universal credit as it stands is callous at worst and arrogantly idiotic at best. And we've heard multiple times that people can now apply for an advance payment. But the fact of the matter is that this advance payment is nothing more than a loan that has to be paid back at a later date. And simply changing the terms of this loan does nothing about the litany of systematic failures throughout this entire process. All this is doing is creating more of a burden on claimants. It's forcing people to have to deal with a problem that is not their fault in the first place. It's almost like this government is starting to behave like some kind of pious loan shark, except that instead of coming through your front door, they're coming after your mental health, your physical well-being, your stability, your sense of security. That is what the experience is for all of our constituents. Now, just to finish up, Madam Deputy Speaker, this actually got me thinking about how all of this has coincided with 7 years of cuts and failures, a failure to rebalance our economy, a failure for this government to reach its own fiscal targets. We're not dealing with a national debt, we're simply shifting it onto vulnerable households. We have the worst decade of wage growth in 210 years. Just to put that into perspective, that's the length of time since the Napoleonic Wars. That's how bad this is just now. Scratch beneath the surface, you can see that things aren't as they appear. All we get is clichés about being strong and stable. Scratch beneath it, it's nothing like the truth. We're told that all these cuts are fine because we're introducing a national living wage. Scratch beneath the surface, it's a total lie, as it's 95p below the real living wage. Now, I've sat in here and I've heard over and over again from Tory MPs that social security reforms are put in place to incentivise work. That's fair enough. This government can't even incentivise its own Scottish Tory MPs to turn up in this Don't dare talk about I've heard this argument used time and time again government choosing to keep slashing money for the poor. This argument is used to justify the two-cap child policy. It's sickening rape clause as well. I've heard it used to justify. I'd offer the benches opposite to actually listen for a wee second here. I've heard it used to justify the sanctions regime, whilst I've stood in this very chamber and implored the government to make it more humane.
Order! The Honourable Lady will be heard. Mhairi Black.
You can't shout her down. You can't shout her down.
Deputy Speaker. So, since I've got a wee bit of silence, let me take this opportunity to say this as loudly and as clearly as possible to everybody in here. Plunging people into debt does not incentivise work. Forcing people into hunger does not incentivise work. Causing anxiety and distress and even evicting some families from their homes does not incentivise work. Now, the good news is that every single person sitting in this chamber just now has the power to change this tonight. So listen to us. Like I said, we're not making this up, because I tell you something, this government has absolutely no excuse for pushing ahead with this reform after today. Halt it and halt it now.